Yo, this is Scott Storch, and you're watching Hip Hop Wired.
Hip Hop Wired here with the legendary producer Scott Storch. That's S-T-O-R. Storch. Yeah, game throwback.
What's going on? Good.
It's a lovely day in LA, and it's a lovely day on the internet because you got the internet buzzing with the new Rick Ross, Chris Brown, Sorry joint. How'd that come about?
Oh man, that record. Basically, I had sent Chris a bunch of records, like 4 or 5 records, and he sent back all of them cut, every single one, all smashes. And that one, I decided to just shoot it right over to Rick Ross's house. He went crazy over it. It was instantaneous. And so, everything going on, I believe, with both of them in their lives, personal, romantic worlds, it applied. So
yeah, it's got the video. Rick Ross's relationship has been buzzing, and you got the soundtrack to that. To the whole Leah Galore breakup, the makeup, and Scott Storch beat is the soundtrack to that.
Yes, sir. It's a blessing when things come together like that. And it's definitely one of the pieces to the puzzle and the return of Scott Storch.
Yeah, and it is the return of Scott Storch. It was a highly publicized story last summer. That you blew half your fortune or all of your fortune. Went bankrupt, but now there was a headline. I think it was a TMZ headline that said, these Rick Ross, Tiger, Chris Brown beats is going to bring you back into good graces with your financial status. How true was that?
Yeah, it's definitely off to a good start. Things are never really as bad as you think they are from the press and what they say, but we're cleaning everything up in my life right now, and I'm in good health, good mindset. I got great partners and good relationships going now. So,
okay. And you said you produced like ever since you were like a teenager, and so like when you actually got to take a chance to take a break, is that when all the fun and partying started?
When all the fun started, yeah. It was a good 6-year run of just making up for, I guess, being locked up in the studio since I was 16. You put that much money with somebody that, has never had it like that before, and all of a sudden, they're famous, and, you're in the limelight, you start hanging with the wrong people, and drugs come into play, and I went in. I had a blast for a while, but that never turns out good at the end.
During that whole lull and party time, were you still producing, or you just?
Not really. No, I was just traveling and partying and just hanging out, chasing girls, and that stuff gets old, and you have to be able to look in the mirror and look into the eyes of your children and feel good about yourself. And I knew I had to make a change.
Yeah, and you work with so many producers. Damn near every A-list in the game. From Chris Brown to T.I., Busta, Dr. Dre, Christina Aguilera. Was there any during your period of partying? Was there any friendships that you might have ruined across the way? Any ones that you might have regret?
I think most. I regret the way I treated Dr. Dre after he so graciously opened up the doors to his kingdom to me, and I know the mistakes I made were 100% drug induced, and I just feel like that relationship isn't over, and I hope to work with him in the future, and hopefully he can accept me back into his good graces.
Dr. Dre is a pretty cool guy, and the Scott Storch sound and Dr. Dre sound, they're kind of synonymous, from the 2001 Chronic.
Dre had a whole world of hits before I came into play. And
he did, but when he made his comeback for 2001, you were big instrumental in that.
And it was a team. It was me, him, Melman, and the whole crew. Mike Elizondo. We created an amazing sound, man. And it's a blessing to be part of that. I hope to continue on that,
What else you got grinding on? What you doing?
Well, I just aligned forces with actually one of my comrades who I met through Dre and his camp, Che, who's now with Good Music and Kanye West. And he's sort of going to be taking the position as manager in managing my company, CCS, with my partners, Brad and Seth Cohen. And we feel like he's like the perfect person for the job, and
It's a great dot connector.
Yeah, I was, you know, I met with him just recently, and you know, the day I met with him, by the end of that day, that night, I was in the studio with Kanye, and you know,
Oh, whoa!
he's got some, he's definitely got some great ties, and he's well liked, and that's what you need.
And you know, I mean, Kanye's album Swish. It's been long delayed. You know, I think he's looking for that missing link. Could you?
Fire, I tell you that.
But I mean, could you add to the boost?
I hope to. Yeah, if he's good enough to let me in on that, that'll be awesome. But I think he's definitely vibing with what I'm doing now too. So
Everybody's gonna open their doors to work with you. But down the line, can we see like a compilation or a one artist Scott Storch produced album?
absolutely. I just completed an album with Mario.
The singer.
Yes. He and I worked together back in the day. We made one of the longest running #1 songs ever in history, "Let Me Love You." And we came back and reunited almost 10 years later and made an incredible album.
It's magic.
Magic.